All right, my next up on the road trip is one of my favorite people in the world, Sterling Donaldson from Sterling Kayaks. He's hanging out over here. I've been paddling his boats for, well, shoot, over 10 years. I used to be a team paddler for him when he first came out. Now I'm just an old man trying to fake it. But I'm super excited to check out his place, and I'm dropping my mom's boat off here is what brings me to town. So let's go say hi. Holy cow, look at these things. Oh man, you make some of the most beautiful kayaks. Look at that. That's my color design. I don't know if I designed it, but I always loved that Kawasaki look. It's a dream boat right here.
It's not like the new shop.
Sterling's going to show me around the shop, you guys. We're going to talk about materials. And so cool. You're getting to see a couple different how kayaks are made around here these days.
Well, there's a new reflection in our tuxedo, what we call our tuxedo look.
I like it. Penguin look.
There's a little ice cap. These are all demos.
Guys, he's getting these boats all under 50 pounds. This is an infused fiberglass layup, under 50 pounds.
Yeah. And this little ice cap here, we found that no matter what color you buy in a kayak, all colors scratch white. So, makes sense if you want a colorful boat, just gel coat the impact area on the boat.
That's the part you're repairing.
Yeah, and we call it an impact diamond, but in the water it looks all one color.
Oh, cool. I like it.
So we mix that up quite a bit with different colors.
Look at this over here. It's an old Wilderness Systems. It's called a Sparrowhawk, which is like a traditional Greenland style kayak. What's the deal with this? You guys doing some repair work on it or something?
I just did some work on the bow and the stern. And this also was an early epoxy boat.
Okay.
Most manufacturers back in those days weren't building with epoxy. This boat's, 27 years old?
Almost 30-year-old kayak right here. What a cool collector's item. All right, let's check out the infusion process over here. Here we go. This one, This one
is just finishing, so they've got the pump off. So essentially we're running resin down this side of the mold.
Okay.
And we're running vacuum all the way across the other side of the mold. So it's going to be drawing all the resin through tightly compressed at 1 full atmosphere of pressure, tightly compressed through and up and over the edge and into the vacuum traps. So you can't get it any tighter than 1 atmosphere at sea level. That's it. So it holds the minimum amount and it gives you the maximum amount of strength, because anything more than this is just adding weight and brittleness to the boat.
Right, you want to impregnate every single fiber, if I'm not mistaken, you're the expert, but you want to impregnate every single fiber, make sure it gets hit with resin, but not have an ounce additional, because otherwise you're just adding weight to the boat.
Plus, through the infusion process, there is 0 air. There's no micro air, there's no air pockets, or nothing. It's just a dense layup.
And that's how you get your boats all looking so perfect and so,
This is a deck
cool.
in the process. The first layer is going in.
Cool, so this is cool. You actually see how they lay them up. And look at how perfectly they have to lay all this to get it all nice and smooth. And so this is 1 layer. You're gonna do a total of 5, right?
Correct.
Man, that's some tedious work. How do they do it and keep it from like moving and shifting while it's in there? Like, what do you use?
When we put it in, we hold it in the mold with a product called high tack or air tack.
Okay.
It's just it leaves a light sticky surface so you can actually push it down and bond it.
So it's so it's kind of makes it tacky, and then you can get, I don't want to touch it, but
it doesn't want to peel back up. You can feel some of the overspray on the edge.
oh, okay, yeah, just slightly tacky.
And it's designed to be compatible with the resins.
Cool. So how long does it take, guys? Seems like it would take a long time to do this and to add 5 layers. How long does it take to lay something like this up?
From start to finish, it takes to do the mold. It takes a day on the deck.
Okay.
That's 8 hours, and then it's about half the time on the hull.
Okay,
we don't
gotcha.
have the features.
Right. So it's incredibly labor intensive, plus the materials are expensive, right? So we're talking, he's using 5 different layers of material, S-glasses, carbons, Kevlars, and we're talking a day layup on the deck, and you said a half day on the hull, and then all the finishing of it. We're talking, you're several days into this process.
Yeah, it's anywhere between, say, 45 and 60 hours on the boat.
So much craftsmanship, and the materials cost, what did you tell me, like $40 a yard or something like that?
As much as that, yeah.
So you guys, that's why kayaks, especially hand-laid composite kayaks, and especially when you get into the upper end, you know, the top of the line kayaks, like a Sterling kayaks, they're not cheap. You are buying the Ferrari of the kayak world. But I can speak from my own experience that there is nothing better on the water. If you want the best performance, you want the best feel, this is as good as it gets.
Remember, this is the boat that we're building for Chris Bench, right?
Oh, okay, cool. This is the deck. This is what it looks like when you pop it out of the mold before it's built.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that blue and green color. Reminds me of my old Reflection. Remember you made me one that was that color?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
This deck here weighs about 9 pounds.
Really? Can I feel it? Mm-hmm. That's insane.
Feel how stiff it is.
Oh my gosh, I just can't believe how incredibly light that feels.
Now these are the special layup schedules incorporating the different materials and how we layer it in.
So how many layers go into any like deck like this? Like what are we looking at?
5.
5 different layers.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about like what fibers go into something like this?
What we use is an S-glass, a Arabic fiber, Kevlar, and carbon.
Cool. And it gets progressively stiffer as you go. Is that the deal?
Correct. Every layer reinforces the prior. How we arrange the fabric in the mold.
And then they're infused, so you're not really getting any extra resins in the boats, right?
It's just enough for saturation.
So that's the whole deal. You're trying to saturate the fibers, but you don't want to have any extra. So they vacuum it out. So you can get a kayak like that that's incredibly stiff, incredibly tough, and this deck weighs 9 pounds. That's insane.
Having someone knowledgeable enough to fit them.
So this is kind of a cool thing, you guys. So they have, you know, what, 4 different models? Okay, 5. The Reflection, the Grand Illusion, the Progression, the Ice Cap. What else?
And the Illusion.
Oh, the Illusion, of course. But in each model, multiple different cockpit fits. So you can really get the boat. You can get the boat you like, and then come sit in boats and feel the cockpit that you like. Different depths, different keyholes. So specific to your body type and your ergonomics. And obviously that's important to Sterling because he's been outfitting his own custom boats. I mean, he's got one leg, but you get in his boat and it's perfectly outfitted for him. And so he gets that and he does that for other people. I mean, I can't tell you how many conversations Sterling and I have had over the years about the perfect cockpit fit. And he goes to work to always make my dreams of whatever I have a vision of come to fruition. So pretty awesome. The outfitting too, it looks so simple, but these seats, these foam, do you still get these from Joe Greenlee?
That's a Joe Greenlee seat that we put together here.
And basically they're all closed cell foam, but you can dial this thing in to perfectly fit you. The most comfortable seats I've ever been in.
Better yet, the whole seat and all the padding only weighs 4 ounces.
So there's virtually no additional weight.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was like, oh man, it's just a foam seat. I don't know if that's professional enough. Dude, let me tell you, it is the most comfortable seat you'll sit in any sea kayak. I challenge you to find something better.
Check out the skeg controller now. Cycle it up and down.
All right, this is a new skeg. Oh my gosh. Yeah, mine doesn't feel like that. I'll tell you that right now. Wow. And check it out, you guys. You know, you've seen skags on kayaks before, but notice how far forward these skags are. First of all Sterling's boats have a ton of rocker to them. And so they're more about control than they are about tracking, right? So what this is gonna do is gonna lock in the stern to give you just enough tracking if you're in a high wind situation. You still have control of the boat, you still have a playful feel of the boat, but if you need your stern to lock in so your bow can turn downwind, it still does that job of a skag.
Well, actually what it does to complete the whole story is that all it does is negate the effect of wind and waves on the beam of your boat.
Okay.
Okay, that plus it's coming down right at your back, and with this blade area directly under your butt, it slows the jitters down and makes people feel way more stable in the boat.
Yeah.
So, it's really what it does. So,
it also works good if I'm surfing downwind. I love my little skill. If you're going downwind and you drop that down, the boat just wants to run true down a wave, especially if you're just trying to cover miles and you're not necessarily surfing, you're just running with waves. The skid works awesome. Talking about bulkheads here, and I think this is an interesting point that's worth mentioning. Back in the day, the bulkheads just used to be flat. Right, the problem with that is now you add a stiff point that is like a fulcrum that has a potential. If you have a flat bulkhead across here and you're doing rescues, it's a place to flex and have a stiff point. So what he's done is he's basically dished them. So now it has like it can flex, it can move. Let's see. Here's a good example right here. You see how it has this little dish in there, and so it allows the boat. Still plenty of stiffness, but allows it to flex and move, and you're not going to get those rigid, solid, 90-degree angles anymore. And it looks like, look how clean that is. Like, look at how sealed and perfect that is.
Up here, these are so waiting on the borders to open.
Oh, really? Going up to Canada?
Yeah, they can't take anything across right now, so they kind of got caught up in this COVID-19 extravaganza here.
Yeah.
So
this is like your paint booth over here?
This is a paint booth where we do all of our gel coat work.
Okay. So is that the deal? You get these are the molds right here?
These are molds.
And then you spray in, or how's the gel coat work?
The gel coat is, they first tape off the patterns that go into the mold, and then we'll individually spray and spray over the different colors that go into the mold. So we'll build whatever the customer wants.
Okay. And how thick is the gel coat? Like how thick do you need to spray it on there?
The maximum thickness for gel coat should not exceed 20 mils thick.
Okay.
And if you get it any thicker, you start getting spider cracks. And if your layup isn't strong enough, then you get a lot of spider cracks and chips in the gel coat.
I've seen that a lot over the years where people have this real thick gel coat, but the boats have flex in them, and then you get all these spider cracks. Yeah, this is an example right here. This is an old, oh man, cool, an old Aquanaut. This is a, yeah, here you go. This is a real stiff fiberglass boat, right?
It's a nice lightweight 66 pounder. Come over here.
All right, let me come around. I used to love this boat back in the day.
Take a look at this. Look how thick the gel coat is. See all the fractures?
Yep.
The layup is too soft.
Okay, so even though it's heavy, it's just cloth and resin, but not necessarily.
Yeah, we've already reinforced it, so it won't do this, but that's well over 20 mils thick. And as you can see, the first layer in the mold is just a layer of matte. This goes matte, core, cloth. That's all there is in it.
So 3 layers and that's it?
That's it.
Okay, and so you guys have evolved so much far past what's going on here. This is an older layout.
This is over 20 years old as well.
Yeah.
This is an old boat.
So the materials have just, come so far over the years.
Materials and processes have changed so much, but this is just a too thick a gel coat with flexation on a stress area.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when the boat hull flexes and the gel coat's too heavy.
And so you're doing like the opposite, thinner gel coat, but a lot stiffer materials.
A lot stiffer materials, yes.
Yeah. Very cool. Still a neat old boat, man. I used to love paddling this one. This is a fun kayak. This was what I used to paddle before Sterling came around. And then when Sterling came around, you get in one of these and you're like, oh dang, there's a whole different level that I didn't know about. I'll never forget when I got my first Illusion from you at, we were out in Trinidad, and I went and paddled with the guys up there. They got the, I don't know, we call them the Trinidad crew, from the North Coast. And paddling that thing at Smackwell, I was in an Illusion, and I caught the ride of my life. And just the control, the speed on the wave, everything was just like, you instantly knew that you were in something different and you could never paddle anything else. As far as for performance boating, I mean, obviously I paddle a lot of other things, but for performance boats.
We built a custom rolling boat for a guy that does a lot of traditional rolling. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's the aft deck off of a new ice cap.
Yeah.
Carbon air mid layup. And this aft deck was taken off and we lowered the whole boat's overall dimension and flattened it out for contest rolling.
Yeah, for laybacks and stuff.
And then we did what's called, we built a ramp seat, so as you're laying back, it supports your spine all the way over until your head clunks on the boat.
That's awesome. I'd love to see that boat.
And it wraps all the way around to your hips, the seat does.
Cool. So just total connection to the kayak.
Yeah, it's just one of the things, someone wanted a custom rolling boat, like we built Dubside.
Yeah.
And we repeated it for him. So,
That's one thing like that I love about you guys. You're not afraid to be like, hey, you want something custom? You want to do something different? Like there's so many times where I hit you up with a design or a concept, and you're like, yeah, we can make that happen. We can cut that down. We can change this.
absolutely.
Most people are like, no, we want it streamlined. We want it factory. Don't talk about customization. You're like, come in here, dream big. Let's make it happen.
So this boat on the building rack was a progression over here.
So you guys, as you can see, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Sterling's because the boats do what you tell them to do. I feel like they inspire confidence. They inspire you to be a better paddler. But don't take my word for it. There's a couple ways you can check Sterling Kayaks out. If you're in Washington, come talk to the man himself. He does direct consumer sales. He's got a showroom right here in the factory. But if you're in Oregon or even Northern California, Alder Creek Canoe and Kayaks, right, just got set up as a demo center. You guys saw them in my last video. I went by and did a shop tour. Go see those guys. He has one of every model, and then you have demos of every model as well as ones you can just sit in for fit.
Correct. Yeah.
So come see this guy. Come see what these boats are about, and I guarantee you will be impressed.